What's up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. My name is Kevin Svenson, and today we're going to be discussing a few things to do with the price of Bitcoin. We're going to be looking at the short term and also the long term. We're going to be looking at Bitcoin price cycles from previous halving periods and discussing what we can expect right now for the price of Bitcoin. It is December 31st. It is the end of the year. We have survived the year of 2019. Bitcoin is ending the year on kind of a bad note right now. From our bear market low, Bitcoin is still up 130% and Bitcoin is still up 90% on the year. So we're gonna be discussing what we need to look out for if Bitcoin is bearish or if Bitcoin is bullish. And for those of you who don't know, I use the CryptoWatch platform in all of my videos. It is the platform that I've been using for the past couple of years. Definitely click that link below and sign up right now. It doesn't cost anything to create an account, so definitely click that link below. Now let's get started on the Bitcoin analysis. Right now, I'm looking at Bitcoin on the 3-day chart, just taking a look at this overall market cycle that we've been in right now, coming out of the bear market. Currently, Bitcoin is up about 130% from our bear market low. So Bitcoin has overall performed quite well coming out of the bear market, although we have, of course, had a major sell-off. The sentiment within the crypto community is very low right now, very depressed. A lot of people are leaving crypto, are throwing in the towel, and a lot of people are very fed up with Bitcoin and the lack of hype in the crypto community. Of course, everybody is used to the 2017, 2018 environment, right, where there was tons of hype. People got very used to this environment here, and they got very used to the types of price swings we were getting in the altcoin market and the amount of hype we saw in Bitcoin, right? People who got involved in crypto, they got involved during this period. A lot of people who got involved in crypto got involved during the 2017, 2018 hype cycle. So a lot of people are very used to this environment here. And right now, we're not seeing that type of hype in the market right now. So a lot of people are getting quite frustrated. This is a really good learning experience for a lot of people in crypto right now, understanding market cycles and market psychology and what it's like coming out of a hype phase. There's a lot of interesting things to pay attention to right now in terms of market psychology. There's a lot of things you could actually learn right now by paying attention to the crypto community at this point in time. One thing about the psychology of the market right now is, we had a breakdown of the Bitcoin trend. And of course, in this period right here, people were panicking. All hope was lost. The end was near. And then, of course, smart money was accumulating Bitcoin at these levels. And when we had that first initial breakout of the bear market, this was sort of a disbelief rally. A lot of the bears, didn't really believe that Bitcoin was going to be bullish here. And this was a suckers rally. It's that typical market psychology that you see coming out of bear markets. People thought it was a suckers rally. There's no way Bitcoin's recovering from here. And of course, then we saw another major leg up after that. After that second major leg up, hope began to return to the crypto market. People began to enter the crypto market again, right? People that were exiting down here, saw that Bitcoin was going up again. So they FOMO'd back into the market. They didn't want to miss out. So people were FOMOing all the way up into 14K. People were FOMOing into this descendant triangle, this bearish descendant triangle pattern. And then, of course, now we've fallen below all of those levels. Now Bitcoin has seen losses from all of those levels. So keep that in mind as you're trading this market, as you're analyzing this market. We had that capitulation zone. People were panicking, capitulating out of Bitcoin, right? Smart money was accumulating Bitcoin here. Then we had that initial rally, that disbelief rally. Of course, the bears did not believe that Bitcoin was recovering here. We had a lot of short squeezes taking place. And of course, people began to get a little bit more excited about Bitcoin. And after that next leg up, this is when the hopium returned back to the market. People started to FOMO back in this consolidation range. And then, of course, that third leg up, people were making money at this point, guys. People that were FOMOing were making money again in Bitcoin. So this was a pretty good time for people entering Bitcoin again. And then we had this bearish descendant triangle pattern. And this is where a lot of the retail investors returned back to Bitcoin, was in this descendant triangle pattern. A lot of people on crypto Twitter and YouTube were saying that Bitcoin was going to go up, that Bitcoin was going to break to the upside of a bearish descendant triangle pattern. Of course, if you're watching this channel, we were looking for prices closer to the golden retrace during this zone. But regardless, people were FOMOing into Bitcoin all throughout this zone. And, now we're trending down. Sentiment is way down again. Most retail investors that were returning to Bitcoin were buying in this zone right here, right? This is where they were buying. And now we're down again. And now a lot of the people that came back to the market are now down. So people are getting chopped up, right? People are capitulating and then buying back in at higher levels and getting chopped up. And this is really bad for market sentiment. Even the people that were buying in 2018 in this consolidation range right here are pretty much at a break-even point right now. So I just wanted to establish all of this to explain the psychology right now that's taking place and really to just explain why the sentiment is so bad at the moment. Determining where Bitcoin is going to go from here is not very complicated at all, actually. The reason for that is because we're in a downward sloping price channel and we have not diverged out of this price channel at all for the past 6 months, right? So once Bitcoin makes a break out of, either direction of the price channel, then of course that's going to be very telling as to where Bitcoin is headed. If Bitcoin breaks above 8,000, this is extremely bullish. If Bitcoin comes back and breaks below 6,400, I would say that's very bearish because we're breaking below previous market structure, major market structure within this range. So that would be a very bearish sign if Bitcoin were to break below 6,400. So determining where Bitcoin's going to go won't be hard. It just takes a little bit of patience. And right now I'm just waiting for Bitcoin to, break either the downward sloping resistance or the 6,400 level to determine for me whether Bitcoin, this is just what the chart is showing me right now. These two price levels, 8,000, 6,400. These are the two major price levels that we need to keep an eye on right now. Also, another thing to keep in mind is that Bitcoin normally trades sideways coming out of market cycles like this, right? Normally, Bitcoin actually has 3 months of sideways action before the next push to the upside for the next halving period. I'm going to bring up the Bitstamp chart right now, looking at the weekly chart, and we're looking at the 2011 to 2012 cycle coming out of the bear market low. Bitcoin rallies up, has a correction, and then trades sideways for 3 months. If you're looking at this range right here, looking from February, we go into March, then we go into April, then we go into May, and then we have a breakout, right? So that's about 3 months in this area of sideways action before a major breakout, right? So keep that in mind. 3 months of sideways, and then we push to the highs and we break out. Now let's just go to the next market cycle here in 2015 to 2016, right? We come off of the bear market low. We rally up, we have a correction, and then we have 3 months of sideways action. We have February, March, April, May, breakout. So very similar. The actual month that this takes place in is also pretty much the same. February, March, April, May, breakout. Now, if we go to the cycle that we're in right now, it's pretty interesting because things are kind of similar, although there are a lot of differences, which I will explain here in a second. Right now, we're coming into the end of the year. And if Bitcoin can trade sideways for 3 months and then break out moving into April, that would be almost identical to all other cycles, right? We would be looking at January, February, March, April breakout, right? Going into the halving period. This would be completely normal, completely standard, and completely healthy for Bitcoin. If we can hold above 6,400, if we can hold above previous market structure, this is a very, very good sign for Bitcoin. And if we trade sideways, that's another great sign for Bitcoin. And if we can move up going into the halving, that's another great sign for Bitcoin. So that's a little bit of hopium for the bulls right there. Although one thing to keep in mind is that on all of these previous market cycles, Bitcoin pretty much always sees higher low structure, right? We always get these higher low formations, higher lows, increase in demand, and then a breakout. Even going back to 2011, 2012, it's a very similar story back there as well. Let me just bring up this chart. We see higher lows, increase in demand, and a breakout, right? Higher lows, increase in demand, breakout. 2015, 2016, higher lows, increase in demand, breakout. What's happening right now for Bitcoin? We're actually seeing lower lows and a decrease in demand for Bitcoin at these levels, which is quite interesting. We are still stuck in a downtrend, right? We are still stuck in lower low, lower high formation. So the trend is your friend until the end of the trend. We are still in a downtrend. Don't get me wrong, guys. This is still a very, very bearish trend, and we can definitely continue to the downside if we cannot break above that downward sloping resistance out of the price channel. We can still remain very bearish here for the price of Bitcoin. Do not get me wrong, but we're seeing some horizontal lows right now. It's possible that we could see that sideways action going into the halving before that breakout, that 3 months of sideways and then breakout. Although I don't want to rely too much on past price action. But we are seeing lower lows for Bitcoin, and this is much more bearish than all other previous cycles. And we are also testing below the golden retrace at 7,200, which is also much more bearish than all other previous cycles. So keep all this in mind. I mean, we still have that chance to trade sideways going into the halving, going into April. This would be a very standard cycle for Bitcoin. But we are also seeing lower lows, and this is really not... This is also a very bearish sign for Bitcoin. So I hope I explained what I wanted to get across in this video. Overall right now, guys, it's really just a matter of getting out of this price channel, right? Even if Bitcoin just trades sideways out of the price channel, that would be bullish progress. Of course, we can always just remain within this price channel and have the worst performing halving of all time. It's totally possible. Currently, we're still within the price channel. So I have to remain a little bit bearish on Bitcoin until we at least trade sideways out of the price channel, or of course break above the price channel. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Definitely hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, be sure to sign up with the CryptoWatch platform, and I will see you all in the next video.